Hey folks, back. And again, it is July 2nd, 2 days before the 4th of July. And lots of things going on. And of course, we're going to go over some things that I have here. And the title of this one, of course, is Need a Lift. Yes, and I will get right to that here in a bit. But as I always do, I introduce the new members that joined here in the last week. And we have Gary Hicks, Robert Colazzo, Fernando Santos, Jerry Tisdale, Molly Foster, Rekha Sadine, Paul Cattle, Sasha Leonard, Kimberly Emanuel Sachs, Robin Kelly Caldwell, Andrew Quambo, Carmen McConnell, Emily Briney, Bob Benoit, Mike Kane, Paul Richler, Kurt Rafael Cruz, Jarrett Opinano, and let's see, Darius Marlin, Joni Carpenter, Jim Smith, Robert Harris, Raymond Matava, Martin Belanger, Pat Clemens, and Jonathan Morris are our newest members to join up here at the MACTFORDEDGE group. And of course, it's always fun having new members join because we know that they're going to have pictures. We love the pictures. And just so we all know, folks, when you do take the picture, turn the camera sideways. Don't hold it this way. Turn it sideways and step back. If you want me to have you in the banner, look at the banner pictures I do post up. You have to be back a ways. It just makes it better for the computer banner. It doesn't really necessarily affect phones and tablets, but for the computer portion, the banner just looks like the car is right up in your face. And it's real close up. So also do an HD photo for it to turn out better, focus, all that good stuff. If you have questions, ask some of the folks that you see posting pictures up there that look pretty good, namely Kevin Messner, Charity, let's see, got a couple other folks that do post them up there. The latest one on the banner, and he's going to shoot me because I cannot remember his name right now. Holy cow, I'm getting old. Anyway, we do have a lot of different folks taking photographs, and I like to rotate it. I don't like to leave a picture up there forever. So, like to let everybody have their pictures up there. 4th of July pictures are coming up. By all means, get that picture up with the 4th of July, sparks, fireworks, and all that other stuff. And I did go out and I bought this humongous box you saw in the photographs on the Facebook account. And for whatever reason, they wanted smoke bombs. These things are cheesy. They run about, 2 seconds and they're done. Those aren't very good. But I tell you what, these speedballs, holy cow, these things, oh, I lit one off. I need to be further back. I need to light it and throw it. And then, of course, we got several of these, and you saw one in the video, and this is, of course, is what just happened. And this is exactly what my dogs do when they hear things start going off. They all end up under. You ever have a 150-pound Norwegian elk hound and a Shih Tzu try to get up underneath my desk when I'm under it too? It's not fun. That's for sure. Just having all sorts of good times. But anyway, we're preparing. We shoot a little bit of stuff off every night. We're saving the bulk of everything for 4th of July here. So we got a whole bunch of stuff to do. So 4th of July, yep, it's going to be fun. We're all looking forward to that. But rest assured, some little bit of news. Yes, my 2011 Ford Edge Lou did make it over 200,000 miles. And yes, the wheel bearings are bad in the back. And I will be doing a wheel bearing video, changing the wheel bearings. And of course, this is a front wheel drive model, so don't look for any rear axles to have to move around or anything. This should be a piece of cake. And those are my famous last words. But anyway, I will also probably do some other things while I'm under there, like corrosion prevention. Yes, you guys might be interested in what I'm doing there, and I'll show you how I'm going to take and do a DIY corrosion prevention program on it to help make it last at least 2 or 3 extra years, hopefully, because we're going to shoot for the high mileage on this thing. But we just keep going and going and going, and of course Lou is holding up pretty good, all things considered. Now, as far as everything else that is going on, let's see what folks are saying. I've been sort of in and out, so I haven't seen everything. Looks like Bill Bell says a 2014 Ford Edge front-wheel drive limited does not have a transmission dipstick. That, I don't know. I just don't know. Let's see. What do we got here? He says some answers on that, and I'm trying to read it here at the same time. But it is. I find it hard to believe it doesn't have a dipstick in it. But you know, could be wrong. We'll find the answer later. But I find that difficult to believe they didn't put a dipstick in it. So we'll get the answer, I guess, and find out here in a bit what's going on there. But yeah, we'll wait to be seeing what the answer is. Stephen S. is complaining that he's fixed everything in his Edge that needs to be repaired and nothing left to fix. Hey, give it to me for a few months. I'll get something to fix for it. Anyway, basically, we got photos being posted. Everybody's trying to be patriotic here and posting their pictures in various aspects. And then, of course, here's another one. That factory backup camera has reared its head again. And I am hearing words from a Ford Edge forum, and Mano and I have had that run across there. And from what I'm seeing is that the second-gen cameras, I think if I'm right, you guys can correct me, but it's looking like the second-gen cameras, the 15 and 16, are the same cameras for the 1.5 refresh that are failing. And to this part, they're the same camera, and some members have bought them, and it turns out they are exactly the same physically. Nothing wrong, and they're installing them, and I guess they're working. And the beauty about it is a 2011 through 2014 backup camera by Ford is costing $300, and for some reason the 15 plus backup camera is only about $80 or so. The part number, I think, has been shared on the forum in the group. Don't know what the deal is behind it. We're waiting to see what else is going on with this. But it's really strange that the backup camera is identical. Now, this might be across the board camera for everybody, and for whatever reason, Ford has put a premium on the 1.5, and they do that for other things. You know, if you want to buy coils for 1.5, the price is far more than if you buy the 2010 coils. It's just the way they have things priced, so it always pays to shop around and check. I think Mano always references this guy bought this camera from Levittown Ford. The guy's name is Benny at the parts counter, I guess. So that might be something to do, and Mano may be able to post some information on how to get a hold of him if you need that camera. At $82 or $85, that's a steal as far as what is going on there. So yeah, it always pays to know everybody, and I will throw a plug in for our pinned Ford parts guy, Jeff Leeper. If you guys need to find parts and don't know where to go, I would say get a hold of Jeff. That's why I pinned his Facebook group up to the top here, so you guys can ask him, and he may help you find some parts also. Always a good guy there. Then we have a lot of funny pictures and funny things people are doing. The various things. Shannon Dugan, he's posted a picture up there. I will probably post that up here as soon. and have it rotated through. I'm looking for more fireworks, 4th of July celebration photographs, and oh yes, okay, I can't leave the Canadians out of this, can I? Oh, Canada. Anyway, yeah, happy Canada Day, I guess, too. That was what, the 1st of July? So I think, I don't know, I never looked it up. I'm just taking their word for it. But anyway, it is a holiday for Canada. Their independence from somebody, I'm not sure who. But anyway, they're independent just like we are here in the U.S. But I did order some new filters for my Ford Edges, oil filters that is, and I'm going with the Perlator Boss Premium Filter. A little bit on the pricey side, but I got them for I think 13 bucks through Amazon. There's a $2 off coupon, so I'll feature them maybe in something, oil testing or something that I do in the future, because I'm always testing my oil, so I'm always testing what the results are with the filters and the oil. My Mobil 1 oil is percolating along, no pun intended, but I'm down a half a quart with the 520 at over 8,300 miles on my Ford Edge. So the thicker oil, the 520, does far better in not evaporating over a 10,000 mile run than the 020 does, folks. 020, I'd be almost a quart low already. So the 020, I'm not ever going to run it again in my edges. Just too thin. It just doesn't hold up as far as loss of oil. So lessons learned there. If you want to do the 020, then go for it. I'm going to stick with the 520, and that's showing a better result as far as not evaporating. Let's see. We got different folks here doing all sorts of different things on their vehicles. HID lights were a question, and that was brought up and answered. Putting halogen, replacing halogen bulbs with HID bulbs in the Edge. For the 1.5 refresh, they have the shutters, and if you put them in the first gen, it's not a real good, pretty thing. Too bright, I think, and a lot of scattered light. Then we have, let's see, when I posted I was going to do my video, we have Mano airing his dirty laundry. Yes. We're not sure if he's laundering money or there's some other concept going on here. I don't know. Some days, when I'm surveilling him, let's put it that way. Yeah, that's a good word. Anyway, you never know. You see him, you see dark trucks, people dressed in black, big bags, in and out. They go into his house, they never leave. Once in a while, the big bags come back out. I don't know what's going on with this guy. Anyway, money laundry, who knows? Being domestic, having a great day. Let's see, we got new members, of course. They're posting their pictures in their old red green. He's showing up all over the place occasionally. Then we got Tyler Burkholder taking a nighttime run, showing off his headlights as he's driving through curvy roads in the darkness. And that looked like a fun drive, I guess. Dash cam might be a better choice for that one, but yeah, we want to make sure we're safe when we're doing it. Let's see. Jeff, speaking of Jeff, about the parts guy, Jeff posted a ad up somebody had for a 2011 Ford Edge SEL with almost 98,000 miles on it. And if you buy this sweet ride for $9,950, you will get a free bundle of fireworks. $99.95 value, yes. But, it's all about what you want. I already bought my fireworks, so I would care less. I'd tell them, give me the discount, right? But anyway, they're always trying to find a way to get people to buy stuff, right? So we got a lot of things going on there. Let's see. Yeah, Mike Jones posted that he doesn't know if his transmission fluid has ever been changed, and I think you all know what my answer is when you buy a used car. What do you do? Yeah, exactly. Okay? change all the fluids. It is better to know where you're at by changing every single fluid in that Ford Edge than to not know. And that means checking the plugs, coils, everything, folks. Start out fresh. That way you know where you are. Otherwise, it's like buying some, going out on a long trip and not bringing a road map. You don't know where you're at. So you might as well take and go ahead and get those fluids changed. Tim Zaleski, you're having problems. You're saying your fans are too loud. In answering your question, I suggested that, yeah, you run them, but, as with all things, electric motors, as bearings wear out, they get louder. I'm not saying that's what the problem is. I'm not going to say the fans are the quietest either in a long run. But stop and think. When you get out of your car and your fans are running at full speed, how often are you out of your car with the fans running at full speed? It may seem loud, and it may be normal. Keep track of those fans as far as their power settings, and I always tell you, OBD links or a VPeak with Forescan software will let you know where you're at as far as the power supply going to your fans and what percentage of use they are getting, all the way up to 100%. So that's the best way to get that answer. Let's see. Ian's wanted to know which gasoline is best. Ian, the gas that you put in the car that makes the car go, I guess. I personally, the other day when I was driving, I forget where I was at. Oh, I was in Omaha, Nebraska. Stopped at a top tier gas station, Sinclair, out there in Omaha, and I went and bought they only had one choice, 90 or 87 octane, and it was ethanol. So I needed gas, filled it up, got gas in it, and I'm going to tell you, I thought I ran, it ran all right, but I was down about a mile per gallon running that 87 compared to the 91 octane non-ethanol gas top tier that I was running. So I felt I lost about a mile per gallon by going with the 87 top tier. So I buy a lot of gas, and I always try to buy the same gas at the same station all the time. That way I have a known thing, but that don't always work. So I have to buy other stuff. And generally when I buy other stuff, I find that I have less fuel mileage. It's rare that I get better, because generally it's not available what I buy. So that is probably what happens. And then center caps that I installed on my Ford Edge. Yes, I installed some center caps that I had painted, and I put some white vinyl stickers on them, and mixed reactions on them. They look all right, but in hindsight, I should probably just go with the white lettering and let the background be red, as was suggested. I think that would turn out to be a better thing, so I may peel that vinyl off and get some new stickers made and put those on there. That way I have the white lettering and then a red background. So look forward to that. I'll make small little changes here, but I just wanted to get something done, and I chose it. And once you look at it, you say, that don't look so good, and you move on and do something different. It's all, all just an experiment. That's all we're really doing. Now, as far as anything else going, let's see, more Canada Day. I'm sure we're going to have 4th of July stuff being posted up there. Let's see, what do we got here? For those of you who have Generation 1.5 refresh Ford Edge, predominantly they have a key start. Tim Zaleski made a note that, hey, if you turn your key on, and of course turn the key to the on position and let go of it, just touch it and let go, the Edge will start. Now the reason I believe this is that way is gone are the days where you had to hold the contact. Now once you make the contact, I think the same system that runs the push button start is actually part of the key start system. So once you make the contact, the Edge is going to turn over until it starts. I'm sure with the key part, just like the push button, if it don't start, then you'll have to push it again, okay? Or you have to turn the key again. This is really what's happening here. So essentially, the key is a push button start. It just don't have the push button. So you turn that key, touch that contact, and that sends a signal to start the edge, and it'll turn over until it starts. And of course, all of our edges are perfect running machines, and they start right on the first crank, right? So we don't have any problems. But that is how that system is more than likely set up to run, and essentially it's nothing more than a rudimentary push button start is all it amounts to. Let's see. Camping. Let's see. We got Andrew Jewett. He's out camping, and he is the banner right now with his camping picture. So yes, now I remember his name. Gosh, I can't. I've talked to him too. It's like I forgot. Holy cow. Anyway, but let's see. David Tidd. He's done a lot to his edge, and he's touting the difference when you change the oil, air filter, transmission fluid, all this stuff, power steering fluid. Wow, does the edge run better? And it surely will. Okay, they have proven that if you like drag race your edge with old oil in it, not necessarily an edge but a car, and then change the oil, the car actually has better straight line times just because it has new oil. That makes a world of difference, folks. So you can imagine old oil is affecting your gas mileage. More friction, less power, therefore more fuel. So just keep that in mind. Let's see what else we got going on here. Oh boy. And let's see, Dan, he's going to mail off his Blackstone Lab oil test. We hope that Blackstone Labs will receive it before Christmas. You always got to start early with Dan, because when he mails stuff off, his stuff goes into this black hole at the Postal Service, and it never shows up again until many, many moons later. So yeah, all sorts of neat stuff going on there. Let's see what else we got going on. We got hoods that have been ate up with a failed AC system. Not sure why the insulation is destroyed. Very, very curious scenario here. Could it have been the AC system when it blew? It blew part of the insulation off, or rats eating it. George says there's no mice droppings or anything around in there. And it doesn't look like chew marks. So it's curious as to what it is. The rubber and everything else is untouched. Just the insulation, and it's really strange on that. So we'll have to see what's going on with that. What else we got? Let's see. We had Chris Pauls do a transmission flush at another shop, and they hooked it up to the lines. It looks like they disconnected the lines from the thermal bypass valve and connected them up to flush it through that. And I will say that the reason they ran that edge and got it warm is because the thermal bypass valve does not open until 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So the transmission fluid does have to be above 85 degrees in order to allow the thermal bypass valve to open. If it's cooler than 85, it will not open. Now the torque converter and all that stuff will be, of course, spinning as it is a hydraulic coupling, and therefore it keeps the pressure and adjusts by shifting gears and all that good stuff. You can make that fluid go in and out and move, and it goes through the valve body and all this. That's what the whole purpose of this was, and he did bring up a good point on it, and it did flush everything out. Now the pros and cons of what I did before and how they do it, I'm not certain what the whole difference is, but in some reasonability it does make some sense. But again, the whole thing is spinning all the time anyway, so the valve body is where I would think the coupling and everything would force the fluid through at that point. But there's very little in there as far as that, in the valve body itself. Your torque converter and your pan are where most of your fluid's going to be located. The rest of it is incidental in that. Your cooling line may have some in it and stuff like that, but most of it's going to be, about 80% of it's going to be running through the pan and the torque converter. Now, let's see, what else do we have here? been posting some stuff up here. Basically wheel bearings that I bought. Now, I did go with the OEM Motorcraft wheel bearings to replace on my Ford Edge, so they will be the rear ones, and they aren't bearings, they're hubs. They're a one-piece unit, and of course I will do that, and then of course I will replace the fronts again in a future date, because you know, I drove almost to the moon with this thing, so it's pretty well timed to change wheel bearings. You know, preventive maintenance at this point, folks. For me, that means when once something goes, and you replace everything related to it, because you know the rest of the stuff ain't far behind. So you know, we try to keep the Edge on the road rather than in the garage unexpectedly. Okay, that's my goal. Unexpected service. I want to avoid that, so I take preventive measures to correct situations that I can foresee. So you got to be a mind reader on your car. You got to know your Edge, and then of course know what to do with it. Now, what else here? We got Tony Tolentino. You washed your engine compartment and it looks fantastic. The only thing I would ask is, did you remove the engine cover and clean under it? Yeah, we left all the dirt under the rug. Anyway, yeah, easy enough to forget, folks. It does look pretty with the cover, and I will be doing a video in the future on these engine covers because I want to prove a theory. Is it hotter under the cover than on the top of the cover? Yeah, makes a difference, don't it? So is the cover really beneficial or isn't it? I know it's a sound deadening thing. It makes the Edge nice and quiet, but is the quiet worth the heat that builds up under it? That's what you got to ask yourself. May not be a good deal. So I'm going to do some. I got a gun. It measures temperature through laser, very accurate, and I'm going to measure that along with a thermometer underneath there, and then on top, and we're going to see what the temperature difference is over the top of the engine compared to underneath. Might make a difference. Then I'm going to take it off and I'll measure the engine compartment with it on, and then I'm going to measure it with it off as far as all the metal and everything around in the engine compartment, and we'll see if it's cooler with it on or with it off, and how it all works. You know, it should be interesting to find out whether or not that cover is worth the effort, or am I crazy for taking it off? I don't have them on my Edges, so you know, that's how I roll with it. I just ditch them. I don't keep them, and I get rid of them. Okay, now everybody's busy today. Not too much of a big crowd watching stuff, but I do want to cover needle lift. Okay, this is in regards to the rear hatch lift arms. Yes, I have had the luxury of going through multiple sets, and I had the OEMs on there, and both OEMs started to fail, and I then decided, okay, I'm going to go out and buy Monroes. I went out because I bought Monroes before, and they're rather inexpensive. Might be part of the reason I bought them, pretty cheap. And I bought them, put them on, and guess what? About 6 months later, the Monroes sprung leaks. They started leaking and not lifting good. Okay, so 6 months they were garbage already. They just went in the trash. So then I had a recommendation. Well, gee, why don't you buy strong arm lift supports? And I went out and I bought them online and got the strong arms and put them on my Edge. And when I went to go lift the Edge, I had to lift it almost all the way up, and then it would finally go up. They were weak. They were weak. I did not like them. They did not have a lift capability to them to save their lives. So much for strong arm, right? Yeah, not a good deal. I within 20 days I had different ones. Okay, and what I did go to was the Stabilis Liftomatic. And they're made by Saks, and I bought those, and you know what, I think I've been using these for about 1.5 years now, and they work every time. In the wintertime, they're a little weaker, but all lift struts for the hatch are a little bit weaker in the wintertime. They don't have the oomph on it, and I found that a very common problem in the winter. They get cold, they don't work as well as they do when they get warm. Okay, makes sense. But I am using the Stabilis Lift-O-Matics, and I've had them for like I think about a year and a half now, and they're running like champs, folks. They're not leaking, and they're doing their job, and they lift the tailgate up, the hatch, and everything, and are doing really good. So my lessons learned is that the strong arms are garbage, the Monroes are garbage. I could have went back to the OEM. I did not go back to the OEM. I went with the Stabilis, and they're working like champs. And they're not that much. I think they can be found for, I don't know what it was, 20 bucks, maybe less. Depends who you buy them from and where you get them and everything. But they're, that's each, by the way. But they work great. They are just, and if you want to know how much I use them, on the average, I will have 12 or so opening and closings of my hatch a day, depending on what I'm doing and where I'm at. Okay, it might be more, sometimes it might be less, but I'm thinking I'm averaging, because I was thinking about it, about 12 openings and closings a day. I don't know how many of you open and close your hatch 12 times a day, but I do end up doing it because I store equipment and I have to access in the back all the time when I go to clients. So I do give them a fair amount of exercise. So if you need a lift, I do say the Stabilis for me are working well, and they're not that expensive in the overall scheme of things. But that was the title of my Need a Lift on here, and that's what I wanted to really address on it. I know it's a real short subject and everything else going on with that, but it is what it is. It's inconvenient when it fails, and it can cause problems with the automatic lift arm also. If the shocks fail, then the lift arm may lock up on you, and then you got to go through a reset procedure or something, and then put new struts on it, and you think your lift arm's broke, when all you need really is to replace those lift supports. And all I can tell you, folks, is that the lift supports, you really need to pay attention to them. After about 2 or 3 years, they're probably getting a little on the weak knee side. So you want to make sure you do that, especially if you have the automatic lift like my wife has. Then you'll have problems with that working, and it might be just because of your lift supports being worn out. Put new lift supports on, now all of a sudden it opens great. It's that simple. So don't assume that the lift arm's broke until you replace the lift supports, because those are what's going to help that lift arm open and close. And you want to make sure that you don't damage anything else, because after all, it's a domino theory. If one thing goes, then the next thing goes. So you want to make sure you replace them, and that way you have something that is in good shape. But nothing else really for me to cover. It is a 4th of July weekend, all sorts of stuff going on. And of course, I did post up a recent video of my Ford Edge hitting 200,000 miles and what I did, and that one is receiving quite a few views. I am impressed. It's running up to 400 views now, and of course is doing very well as far as views from you folks. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. But as with all things, I do end all my videos, because I post this on YouTube, and that is that if you see this video here, check the links below in the description. You can join MACTFORDEDGE on Facebook, and of course YouTube. Watching this on YouTube, subscribe, like the videos. I got a donate button there too that you may want to push to help fund this channel and keep everything going as much as possible. And with that being said, we have some great music coming from the Band of One. And then, of course, Mercy Girl's going to toss a couple of one-liners at you all. And I do want you all to remember also, my feet hit the floor today, and I'm having a great day. And I want you all to have a great day, too. And with that being said, I'll post a little bit of bonus footage here, maybe of some fireworks going on, so you guys can have a little bit of a bang boom to look at.
Thank you for watching MACT's videos, and remember to like and subscribe. This is a Mercy Go production.
Fire! Woo! Oh, let's go. Woo!
Come here. Hold on to these.
Dad, you're supposed to throw them, Dad. You're supposed to throw the spinners.
Here, hold on to the blossoms. Don't drop them.
Oh, look up there. Uh-huh. That will start swirling, start whistling, go up in the air. Uh-huh. That will be. Uh-huh. That will be cool.
That one didn't even go.
Yeah, no. That's another one. You can sit there till morning and... Now we have to pick these up.
In the morning.
In the morning we can pick it up.